3, 2, 1, 0.
Folks, it's Monday. It is 7 o'clock, which means it's time for Monday Night Nerd. Hope you all are doing well. My name is Corp Cosplay. If you've never been on the show before, I'm a cosplayer in the Southern Ontario area, and this is my show where we talk about nerdy things. We talk about movies. We talk about cosplay. We talk about comics, wrestling, and a whole lot more. And tonight, we're going to be talking about two concerts that I went to this past week. We are going to be talking about Ninja Sex Party, and we're going to be talking about Disturbed and a whole lot more. It has been a long Monday. I don't know if anyone else is feeling it. It might be the weather and everything, but it has been a long Monday. I have to admit, I can't complain too much. My work has taken an extra long weekend this coming weekend, so it's a short week for me. So I can't really be upset too much, but it's still a long day and it's going to be a long week because we got a lot to do, but it's still going to be a good week, and I hope you all are doing great. Let's jump into some news. We got a little bit of news to talk about. I do want to start things off. Today on social media, there was a lot of pictures and clips or a whole bunch of news articles about the Doomsday Marvel shoot. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to showcase any of the photos because I'm sorry. I don't like showcasing that stuff where it's just people with cell phone cameras from 50 feet away taking shots of people. I know there was stuff shown about Lobo. There's stuff that people are already debunking and saying they're fake. I'm sorry. I don't want to showcase that stuff. When Marvel's ready to post stuff, I will talk about it. If you want to go look for it, please go for it, enjoy it. But personally, it's just not for me. I don't want to be that person to just showcase that type of stuff. So we're not going to talk about that tonight until Marvel releases some stuff. Let's talk about the podcast a bit. You may notice we got a few more lights on in the background. Usually I've got this dimmed a bit with some nice blue mood lighting. You can kind of see it behind me. I'm going to change things up because I feel like it. I feel like this captures everything a little more. This is my cosplay room. If you're live on TikTok, if you're watching me here on the podcast, this is where I do all my cosplay. Anything I build is built right behind me. You can see some of that stuff right there. That is Ghost Rider 2.0 being built. That black thing right there is the new Gambit chest piece, which I'm hoping to have done in time for Anime North. But yeah, so this is going to be the way going on for a little while. I'm going to try it out because I don't know. I think it works. I don't know if I was trying to hide it and not really realize it, but screw it. That's my workshop. It's going to be dirty most of the episodes because I am building all the time. When it comes to the topics and what we're going to be doing moving forward, I have a whole bunch of topics. Believe me, we are at episode 98. We are not slowing down anytime soon. I'm hopefully going to be having a guest or two on here in the next little while. It really depends on the quality of things. Even though we weren't live, if you saw my interview with Sarah Middich from Murdoch Mysteries and Star Trek, there was a little bit of a technical issue. I don't know if that was on her end or if that was on my end, but it wasn't crystal clear like it is right now, and I'd like it to be, especially if I have someone on here that I want to interview. So we're going to work on some things, and if I can get it done, I want to have some more people on here. I definitely want to have Pretty Nerdy Crystal back on, talking about Fallout, because she is a giant Fallout fan, and I'm not. And I kind of want to do a series or a couple interviews like that of people talking to me about things that I'm not a fan of, because I feel like that's something that, you know, when we put up I don't want to say we put up a wall, but when we don't like something, we kind of just say, don't like it. I want to understand why I don't like certain things that others do, because I'm not a TV person. I'm not a Fallout person. I have my own likes and loves, and I know other people out there have other nerdy likes and loves. I'm not a Potter fan. I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. So I want to have people on the show and explain to me, like, why does this do it for you? Because if you ask me, why do I love wrestling? Well, I love wrestling because of, it helped me go through anxiety and all that and made me a more confident person. So I want to have those discussions with other people. So hopefully once we pass episode 100, we can do a couple episodes like that and get some perspectives from outside of just me blabbing the whole time. when it comes to the main event, the main topic of the show, what I'm going to start doing is, because some of these news things run a little long, and I try and timestamp them after the fact, so if you go back and watch it, you can find just where the main event is. I'm probably going to start clipping just the main event and putting it as a separate video on the YouTube channel. So if you want to see my opinion on whatever topic it is, you don't have to fast forward through the live show, because it just becomes a kind of a pain in the butt. And to be honest, I asked ChatGPT what it thought about it, and it loved it. So I'm going to go with the AI algorithm telling me if it's a good idea. So I'm probably going to go back through a few of the latest episodes and grab them. But from now on, I'm going to start kind of working in sort of like maybe a mini intro at the beginning of the main event. So it might come off a little awkward, but understand it's for later, so I can just cut it and drop it into its own video with a little bit of tweaking. So that's the podcast. We're going to be going some more. Like I said, we're on episode 98. Next week, we're going to talk about the things you need to make a good cosplay workroom, because I think that's really important, because we are in cosplay season. And then episode 100, the big one, is the week after Metallica. If you don't know, I bought $5,000 ticket for Metallica in Toronto. I am going to the Nothing Else Matters experience, where I will be backstage. I will be at a Q&A with two members of the band. I will be getting a walk around of the stage. I will be there both nights in Toronto. I'm going to do, the 100th episode is going to be all about that. Also, over the week, they announced some other events that are going to be taking over Toronto during that time. Because the shows are Thursday, Saturday, everybody's got the Friday night free. They've thrown in some other things. There's a meet up with Kirk Hammett to talk about his new guitars and Gibson. I will be going to the art gallery, or an art gallery, with an artist called Squindo. If you're a Metallica fan, you know that name. If you don't, this is the guy who has been doing a ton of the artwork for their shirts and some of their promotional stuff, their posters, for the past 25 years. And I'm a huge fan of his art, and he's going to do a sit-down interview with a bunch of his art stuff at a gallery. So I got tickets for that on the Friday, so my Friday in between Metallica is booked as well. So we will be going through all of the Metallica weekend on the 100th episode, so hopefully you guys will be here for that. Enough about the podcast. Let's talk about nerdy things, folks. I have started a new game. I have started working on RoboCop Rogue City. I am a big RoboCop fan. I love the first movie. I like the second movie. I have not seen the third movie, but I do love RoboCop. I grew up with an era, if you're, not of my age, like I'm old, 35, 36, 37 era, there was a time when the R-rated movies were getting kids' toys. So there was a Rambo toy, there was a Terminator toy, there was RoboCop toy, and I had funny enough, a cosplay style toys of RoboCop. My mom bought me the helmet, and I had like a foam blaster gun for a fist. So I've always loved RoboCop. So when I found out there was a game coming out that was a very, very faithful rendition, first-person shooter of RoboCop, I was so excited. And I got even more excited when it became free on the PlayStation Plus. I would have paid for it. Believe me, it has been in my wish list for a while. But now that it's free, I saved myself some money. I loved it. I'm about 15, 20 minutes in. I'm not too deep. I finished the first level, and it is very faithful. The art style and the video is very 80s. The dialogue is very cheesy 80s. After the first mission, something happens. I don't want to say what, but you end up back at the police station, and they need to do modifications to you, and then you get to walk around the police station. It is so fun just walking around the police station, walking around, seeing all the other officers. You actually have to help them with certain tasks as sort of like mini games, and they're actually really fun. There's one where there's a desk of like a lineup of people who need help, and you have to help and decide who to help and how much to do for each person. You have to do a shooting range. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff. So I'm going to hop into that probably after the podcast and play it a little more. But so far, 20 minutes in probably. I am loving it. Crystal in chat says, I literally thought of you when I saw it. Man, it is so me. And I hope it does well, that there's going to be other things like that. I know there's going to be a Terminator 2D side-scroller that's coming out. I'm so excited about that. There's an X-Men side-scroller beat-em-up that's coming out, which is going to be great as well. So far, the video games are going, mwah, I love it. And a side note, I don't have this in my notes, but I do quickly want to say it. For all those people who are upset that the Switch 2 and the games are going to be so expensive, if you look in your back catalog, if you've been a strong gamer, you probably have a lot of stuff that you could still play through. I'm not worried about the Switch 2. I've got a PlayStation Plus account that is loaded with free games that I can play. So I am not running out to get a Switch 2 until that price drops, because that's way too much in my opinion. Rogue City over. Let's jump into the show that is taking over the world when it comes to the world of Marvel. We are back with Daredevil episode 1 of Born Again. Now, I have seen a lot of people's opinions on this, and yes, I'm well aware I am late to the party. I should have been watching this day one, but you know what? Sorry. I've seen a lot of people critique this show. I've seen people critique about the intro, the opening sequence. I've seen people critique the CGI in it. I will tell you this. From what has been reported back when it first was written, this was supposed to be a procedural show. This was supposed to be what I took as Daredevil meets Law & Order, which, as a big Law & Order fan, was very interesting. I love that idea. Then, from what has been told and what has been written, Kevin Feige watched it and said, no, it needs to be more like the Netflix seasons, which I get because they work so well. I'm not going to spoil the opening because even Crystal said I still haven't turned it on, so I'm not going to spoil the opening, but something happens, and it's a great opening, but it really feels like that intro is tacked on at the end. And what happens after that opening action scene is the show. Because when that happened, I went, okay, this is interesting. Where are we going? And it's not really brought up yet. And again, I know I'm only on episode 1. I know I've seen from the recent episode that there is more to do with it later on. But it really feels like that beginning doesn't really fit with the rest of it. And I really see people's point of view where, I mean, this isn't a spoiler if you've seen the trailer. Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, is trying to become mayor of New York City. He's done it in the comics. It's not a big shock. But I do understand people's aversion to the show due to the political climate, because I can see how people can weave that narrative into the show when it's not there, to be honest. It is the idea of Kingpin being mayor is something that's happened a bunch of times in the comics. This was not written because of everything that's happening in politics right now, but I do see how people who may have an aversion to it or are trying to avoid that topic could see it in this show and maybe averse to watching it. I get that, but I'm okay with it. I do see it, however. So far, episode 1 is good. I'm not, however, dying to watch episode 2. I will watch the rest of it at some point, but it is not a show based off that first episode that has made it must-watch TV. It has been interesting. I'll get back to it when I can. So that is my biggest problem with TV, is that unless it's a really good show like Reacher, I will just be like, I'll come back to it soon. And that may never happen. That's why I don't think I watched season 3 of Daredevil. I didn't watch Luke Cage. I didn't watch Iron Fist. Didn't watch Defenders. It's just, I'm not a TV guy. So, but if you're a Daredevil fan, you'll like it. The whole cast is back. You know, it does what it does. That is kind of all the news for the night. Hasn't been a really heavy weekend when it comes to news. If you guys are still here, I greatly appreciate it. If you can like, share, all that thing, it means a lot to me. It really does. I've seen some subscribers go up in the past couple weeks, and I appreciate that. It really means a lot to me. I know you guys have been checking out my shorts. We have got a whole bunch of YouTube shorts scheduled, coming out every few days. We've got some Q&A cosplay stuff. We've got some cosplay competition shorts. We've got some, what else? We've got some volunteering shorts talking about Comic-Con volunteering. And I've even just recorded an entire series of videos, which are going to be shorts, as well as a longer version of every question you could want to know about Fan Expo Canada. Because if you don't know, I've been going to Fan Expo Canada for the past 15 years, and this will be my 16th year, so we're going to put those out a little closer to Fan Expo, so you guys will be completely ready for Fan Expo Canada when we get there. Folks, Crystal in chat says, I have The Last of Us to start tonight as soon as I'm done here watching the podcast. That's another one. I've played The Last of Us a couple times. I'm not really interested in watching the show because it's just not for me. And I know your love for Pedro Pascal is there, but it's not for me. It's the same with Fallout and all those other shows. There is a stack of shows, The Height of the CN Tower, that I'm supposed to watch that I will probably never watch because it's just not for me. Let's jump into the quick sponsor, and then we're going to jump into the main event. Sponsor, as always, folks, for the 98th time, is my beautiful, incredible, loving wife. She's always my sponsor. I love her. She means so much to me, and she is part of the reason why I do this. She wants to get rid of me. No, I'm kidding. She supports me so much when I do this, and I really would not have the testicular fortitude, or whatever you want to call it, to get on here and do this for almost 100 episodes. So, hun, you will always be my sponsor. I love you. Thank you so much for all your support. Okay. Let's jump into the main event. Folks, if you're tuning in, that means a lot to me. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Ninja Sex Party, because I saw them live on last Friday, and then we're talking about Disturbed, which I saw Monday, which I wasn't here to do a live episode, so hopefully you guys tune in to watch my interview with my good friend Sarah Middich, who is from Murdoch Mysteries and from Star Trek Discovery. So I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and if you haven't, as soon as this is over, you should hop over to that video and watch it, because it's a great interview talking about how we grew up together in high school, how she became an actress, and what she's doing now. So you should check that out. So let's talk about my review. Let's talk about Ninja Sex Party. It's just such a fun name. It's such a fun name to say. Like, there's a band, and it's a really good band called Ninja Sex Party. Like, it's so goofy. How do I explain this band? How do I explain Ninja Sex Party? Well, Crystal in chat, I greatly appreciate you being here, because Crystal is a big fan of Dan, the lead singer. So Ninja Sex Party is a band that was started online. If you know the YouTube channel Game Grumps, that is one of the members is Dan. He has a band, and it is NSP, Ninja Sex Party, and they do fun, goofy rock pop songs. Our friends that we went with and myself coincidentally use the term, it's like Weird Al Yankovic without the parodies. Like, it's all their own stuff. They do covers, but they do have a Crystal said, I'd say 80s hair band mixed with dance. Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. So I have been a fan of theirs for a while. I've not been a hardcore fan of theirs, however. I started when was the first time I saw them? I think it was when probably their biggest song, Danny Don't You Know, was their big hit. If you've not heard that song, I put out a short a couple days ago on Instagram, and I think I posted on YouTube as well, asking what my cosplay song would be. And I said it was One in a Million by Down with Webster, which is a great song. However, that video was taped a while back, and I really should have said this song, Danny Don't You Know by Ninja Sex Party. If you're a nerd, if you're a geek, if you go to Fan Expo, if you go to Comic-Con, if you cosplay, this is the song that is you. This is the song that represents you to a T. It is about a kid who was bullied and just didn't fit in, and now he's a lead singer of a band, and it is such a hype song. So I fell in love with him then, and you might also really enjoy the video because the kid who plays Dan in the video is Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. So it's really fun seeing him before he became Finn Wolfhard. So I've been a fan of theirs, but ever since I've become friends with good friends of ours now, that was a weird way to say that. I don't know if I want to mention their name on here. They're sometimes in chat. I've become friends with a couple people through my convention club, my convention group, whatever you want to call it. And two of these people have become really good friends with Aaron and Edie. And I ended up crashing at their place after London Comic-Con last year, and we ended up just kind of chilling on the couch, hanging out, and she was talking about this band, and I was like, why do I know that band? And as soon as she mentioned Danny Don't You Know, I knew exactly who it was, and I've kind of kept up with them, but not really. And she started playing me all of their biggest songs over the past few years, and I love them even more now. So it was really fun knowing they were coming up and getting excited because this was a band I knew a little bit of, but not a ton, which is the complete opposite of what Disturbed will be, and we'll talk about that in a minute. There is a song of theirs, and this is the embarrassing story that I posted on my stories just before we got on the show. So there is a song of theirs that is the quintessential me and my wife song. And it is called Welcome to My Parents' House. And it is such an important song for us that we actually made our own shirts to wear to the show. So I will show you the shirt and then I'll explain the context. So the shirt says, and I cut these and everything, we've got apple and guava and mango and apple, so many fucking fruits. Now, let me explain this. This song, oh my God, it is so accurate. So when my wife and I first started dating, I was living at my mom's house. And I've mentioned this on the show a couple times, but I'll mention it again. At my mom's house, to get to my room, you have to go through my mom's room. Okay? You go up a flight of stairs and you're in my mom's room and you have to cross her room to get to my room. When you also get to the top of the stairs, there is a chest with all of the urns across it. So my grandma's there, my grandpa's there, our old cat's there, their old cat's there. So when you're trying to be the smooth guy and bringing a girl back to your house and being like, by the way, if we want to go upstairs, we got to walk through my mom's room and see all my dead relatives. Like, it is the most thing you could think of. So this song, Welcome to My Parents' House, is about the smooth talking guy picking a girl up at the club and bringing her back to his parents' house and being like, hey, my mom left out some snacks for us. And the line, there is a point where he says, do you want something to drink, basically? And he says, we've got mango and guava, we've got mango and apple and guava and apple, so many fucking fruits. So the reason it's different on here is because when my wife sings the song, she never gets the order right. So my shirt, her shirt, and our two friends' shirts are all different layouts because my wife never gets the line properly. So that is the song that kind of connects me and my wife together, of like, she just goes, yeah, that's exactly what it was like for me. It's just like, wow, this guy's cool, but like, can we not go through your mom's room to get to your room? It's kind of fucking awkward. So we've always loved that song. So finding out they were coming to Toronto for the first time in a long time, this is not a band that tours normally, was really exciting. So we got there, it was a little later than we wanted to. It was just general admission unless you had VIP and you're upstairs. It was at the History, which is the new club. I believe it's the one Drake opened. Really great place. Honestly, you can stand anywhere in that place and have a good seat or good stand. Great club. I actually really enjoy it. Want to go see more bands there. So we didn't get, obviously, stupid close to the stage like we wanted to, because when we got there, the line was like wrapped around the block. So we knew we were getting front row, but we still got pretty good seats. As I said, there's no bad seat in that place. The opening band was TWRP, Tupperware Remix Party, which, if you've seen other music videos of Ninja Sex Party, they do make appearances. Danny, don't you know, that's the band in that video. And I've heard of them, but I've never seen any of their music. If you said, name me a Tupperware Party, I wouldn't know. They're really good. Like, we're all fans of theirs now. They're from Toronto, which I didn't know, and they're very 80s synth humor. Like, really. They had a running joke throughout the concert. Ninja Sex Party had their big banner behind them that said Ninja Sex Party, the Elegant Tour. And every time, like about three or four times through the show, we just turn around and be like, "Hey, thanks for bringing us out, Ninja Sex Patrol." And it was one of those funny jokes. And then the bass player would say every song was for the ladies out there and got a roar every single time. But they were really good. They were really fun. They were really energetic. Goofy, just like Ninja Sex Party, but it really, really fun. I think they're coming back in October, so we actually might go see them again. It was that good of a show. If you wanted to get merch, you better have gotten there first, because I'm not kidding. The line was probably 40 people deep all night. Like, I even think when they were playing, there was a lineup for merch. It was nuts. And they were pretty sold out of almost everything by the end, which is good. I mean, that's great for the band, but like, thankfully we were like, let's get merch now. And they got their merch quick. We did. I didn't get any merch because there's no way I'm walking around the city with an NSP shirt on. It's just, if I was 20, maybe. I'm 37 now. I just feel weird wearing something like that. But so they were hilarious. And then Ninja Sex Party came out, and man, they knocked my socks off with how good they were. They just blew it out of the water. They did Welcome to My Parents' House, which was great because I'm wearing the shirt. And when they get to that line, everyone starts pointing at my shirt, which just made me feel all giddy inside. Like, everyone likes me. So that was great. They actually did some really good covers. I had heard they've done covers in the past, so I was kind of hoping they would do certain ones. What did Dan wear? Dan wore he didn't wear his traditional. So if you know the band Ninja Sex Party, he did not have just the blue leotard that he usually wears. He had a modified version of it, which actually looked kind of good. It was like blue and white / silver, I think. Yeah, but it looked good. It looked really, really good. So the covers, they did Spin Me Round by Dead or Alive, which was great. He did a great cover of that. They did Just What I Needed by The Cars. They actually filmed it for a music video. They did 2 versions of it, which was really funny because they did the first one. He's like, okay, we're going to shoot this for a video. I want you to be really excited for the first one. We're going to do it again. And I need you guys to be as excited the second time you hear it. And the crowd actually did a very good job. So they shot a music video for that, and that was really cool. And then they did Everyone Wants to Rule the World, which was a great way to almost end the show. That was their second last song of the night. Someone actually proposed in the crowd, which I didn't expect happening. There is a song that they do called Heart Boner, which is exactly what you think it is. It is a love song where he talks about getting a heart boner for a girl. And no joke, 15 feet away from us, guy dropped to one knee and proposed to his girl and in the middle of the song. And I'm just like, think about that conversation. Think about calling the father and being like, hey, I really like your girl. I really want to propose. And he's going to be a dad. He's going to be like, that's great. How are you going to do it? Well, I'm going to a Ninja Sex Party concert, and I'm going to propose during the song Heart Boner. Depending on the dad, that could go one of two ways. If he's a really cool dad, he'll be like, that sounds hilarious. Have fun. You have my blessing. However, if it's not, it could go really bad. But yeah, they did a great job. And they did Danny Don't You Know at the end, which just, I love that song. And it's weird. Like, I will be completely honest. I got a little emotional during that point because it was like, man, like, this is a song that just means a fucking lot to me, being an artist and being like, man, I remember being that kid going to Fan Expo at like 2009 and being like, this is cool, I'm just a fan. And now I'm doing this, and now I'm getting invited to cons. Like, man, like, I never would have thought that would be happening 15 years later, but here we are. We're on episode 98 of this show. Like, that song meant a lot to me. So I'll admit there were parts of the song where I kind of got a little misty-eyed, like, holy shit, like, man, this feels right. So yeah, they killed it. They absolutely killed it. I wish their set was longer. I think they only did like 15 songs. And I'm like, I could sit for another 15 more. But it was a great, great show. I hope they come back. I know we've kind of been pushing anytime Fan Expo or somebody puts out, who do you want to see at the con? I've mentioned them almost every year of like, please get them to come because they will do so well at Fan Expo and Comic Cons. So maybe one year, you never know. But yeah, Ninja Sex Party was really, really good. I really want to see them again. I hope they come back soon because yeah, they were so, it was so good, but it was kind of upsetting at the end because we were walking back to the car and we're like, man, they didn't play this song. They didn't play this song. They didn't play this song. And we just wanted to hear every song they've ever done. So next time, you never know. So that was Ninja Sex Party. Let me take a quick drink. By the way, I have to give a shout out to my wife. These are the glasses she picked up in Mexico while she was down there. We've got about 5 of these, and there's ones that sort of have like a print on them. These are becoming some of my favorite glasses. They're heavy, which is nice because we have cats who are jerks sometimes. So having a nice heavy glass is really nice. Now we jump into Disturbed. Now, I'm a big metal fan. I am a big metal fan. I have seen Disturbed 3 times? 3 times. I've seen Disturbed 3 times, and I love Disturbed. I know every Disturbed song. I'm that fan. And this is an interesting tour. This tour was their 20th anniversary of The Sickness. 25th anniversary of The Sickness? Yeah. 25th anniversary of The Sickness, their debut album, and they were playing this album cover to cover. Now, this works in some cases. I have seen some bands, Iron Maiden being a big proponent of this, where they will do that. This is one that works. Iron Maiden and other bands don't really work. I understand that there is a bias to that. If you're a big fan of the album, you're going to love it. I am not a big fan of a lot of Iron Maiden stuff, but I love Disturbed, so I knew every song of this one. Justice Smith says, first time I seen Disturbed was 2001 Ozfest. I am jealous. I wish I got to see him at Ozfest. I think the first time... Where did I see him? It wasn't Uproar. Mayhem Fest? I think it was Mayhem Fest in Toronto. And then I saw them again when they toured with Korn in Toronto. So yeah, I think this is the 3rd time I've seen them. No! I saw them in Hamilton. They were in Hamilton, and that's where I was introduced to one of my favorite bands because they opened for them. Skindred. That's where I saw them. So yes, I have seen them 3 times. So this, however, was not opened by Skindred. This was opened by Through the Never? No. Through something. Anyways, not important because I didn't get to see him. The friggin' opening band went on at 5:30. Like, I'm sorry, I work. Like, I can't take off a whole. I took off a whole day, but that's the way I am when it comes to concerts. I just don't like rushing. My wife can't, so like we left at 5, and we knew we weren't gonna see the opening band. We did, however, see the second opening act, and that was Daughtry. I have never seen Daughtry live. I was not impressed. I'm sorry. I've never been a Daughtry fan. It's never been my thing. And it was weird when I saw him pop up as the opening act because I'm like, I know like 2 of his songs, and they're not really Disturbed-like songs. So it was an odd choice in my opinion. But the crowd seemed to like him. They seemed to be into it. But personally, I was like, I really don't care for this. Like, it's not my bag. And again, I know lots of people who love him. It's just not for me. But everyone seemed to enjoy it. So this was an interesting concert. There's a couple things that happened at this that I never expected. So they start out with The Sickness, and they go literally from track 1 all the way through. They play it very theatrically, which I appreciate, because if you've never seen Disturbed, if you haven't seen Disturbed recently, they've kind of pulled back on theatrics. They've never really been a theatrical band. They started as one, though, and I'm glad they brought it into this. If you've ever seen clips of their club shows, you know that David Draymond, the lead singer, was always coming out on the backboard, wrapped up like Hannibal Lecter. So having them reproduce that today was a lot of fun. Seeing him carted out, they take the shackles off, he goes into the songs, which was just, it was beautiful seeing that type of theatrics come out. And it seems like they were having a lot of fun using those theatrics. So I hope they keep those going, because I remember seeing them the first time, and I think it was during their Indestructible tour, and there was some theatrics. Like, I think they had a big inflatable of the guy in the back, or maybe it was just a big banner, and it was good. But I've seen clips of their recent tours, and it seems like they've pulled back a lot, and I just felt like they're missing a bit. It really felt like it was missing a little bit of it. Like, I'm not looking for Kiss. Like, I get it. They're not that. But, like, when you do the theatrics and it pulls people in and then you take it away, it kind of feels like you're missing something. So having them do those theatrics was great. And it wasn't just for the Sickness section, which I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be for that. They go through cover to cover, and I'm belting out every single song. And it was... Honestly, this is a first for me, and I was kind of happy with it. We were right over the walkway for the back of the arena, so when you're looking from the stage to the back, you sort of have those 2 tunnels. We're right above the tunnel, right up against the edge, and I've kind of got my hand next to it, and I'm kind of doing like my shitty version of slap bass on it, which was kind of nice because I was kind of playing along with it, because I don't play bass, I play drums, but I can't just full on drum in the middle of my seat. But it was nice just having that ding 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 while the song's going. Great vocals, great playing. They they did everything amazing during The Sickness. The last song on the album, if you know it, is Meaning of Life, which is a great song, especially because, again, they bring out more theatrics. David Draymond brings out the electric chair. They set him in it. They zap him. He starts bleeding all over himself. He kicks out, starts jumping around, sings Meaning to Life, which was incredible. And then they had an intermission, which I wasn't expecting. He's literally in the chair, and they zap him, and you see the blood coming down on him. And I'm like, I've worked on stages before. They're going to have to wipe that up. So as soon as the song ended, I'm like, all right, let's get the crew out here to just make sure. And the banner drops, and I'm like, okay, they're going to quickly do it behind a banner. And then they're like, Disturbed will be back in 20 minutes. And I'm like, we're doing an intermission? Like, I appreciate it because I got to go to the washroom. But, like, I've never had that before where a band has been like, give me 20 minutes. But it was because they were changing the sound. They were changing the stage, which I did not expect. Like, the stage wasn't crazy detailed. They had like big piping and stuff, which I've seen clips before that all goes on fire, but they did a lot more than that. So they did the intermission and then they came back, and why can't I remember the drummer's name? Anyways, they had put his drum set on a riser. Actually, I think it was a completely different set because the artwork on the bass drums was different. And then when they started into sort of the greatest hits section, a big inflatable, the mascot, came up from behind him, which looked really cool live. We were joking that we need that for like on top of our house because we have the 7-foot skeleton or the 9-foot skeleton in our backyard. We need something else, so we want that on top of our house. And then they went through the hits. They went through almost every hit you could think of. They went through Land of Confusion. They went through Inside the Fire. They went through Sound of Silence. The Sound of Silence had its own theatrics. They kind of put the draping back up again. They had the piano up on the little sort of walkway, and the piano lit on fire as what's his name, the guitar player, was playing it. Killed Sound of Silence, which I had no doubt he would. And what do we got here? Pretty Nerdy Crystal says, jealous, had to make sure I peed before 3.5-hour concert. That's what I'm worried about for Metallica, because my bladder sucks. Like, I'm the guy who goes to a theater and I don't get any, like, I don't eat dinner because I'm like, I know as soon as those lights go down, I'm gonna have to pee. So I am a little nervous because at Metallica, when I go backstage and stuff, they're like, oh, we're going to give you free drinks. I don't drink, so that's fine. But they're like, we're going to give you food and all that. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do anything for a while because, like, we got to do the Q&A. I believe this is all on the same night. We have to do the Q&A. We walk the stage. We hang out backstage. There's, like, instruments and stuff we can touch and stuff. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to do before we even hit the floor. And then we have to sit through 2 opening acts and Metallica. So either I'm going to burst by the end, and thank God I'm staying at a place that's like across the street, or I'm screwed. One of the two. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm going to do. Marcy says Andrew Saxon shared some of the songs with amazing. They did a great job, and I had no doubt they would. They brought someone on stage, which was great. There's a kid at the front row who was screaming the whole night. They brought him on stage with his dad, and they did a song called "The Light," which is really cool. It's a really great song, really good if you're going through stuff. That's the song to listen to. And everybody, when he yells "the light," everyone had their phones out and put them up in the air, which literally like lit up the whole arena, which was cool looking. And then there was no encore. Like, they literally went through all the greatest hits, and they're like, "Thank you, Toronto." And I'm sitting there going, they've played everything. Like, what are they going to play for the encore? Because "Sickness" is usually the encore song, but that was at the beginning. So I'm like, what are you playing? And then the lights came up, and I'm like, oh, we're just done. Oh. Okay. I guess leave. Having all the theatrics. Like, I love that. I think that should be doing it isn't doing it. But I just like seeing that. Like, I'm a Kiss fan. That was my first big band. So having a band do extra is nice. Like, I love, the grunge era of Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, and all them. But just seeing the guys on stage playing a guitar and playing drums, like, it's kind of, I want a little more. Like, even Metallica has a little more theatrics when it comes to certain things. So yeah, it's nice seeing them bring that back, and I honestly hope they keep doing it because it was really, really fun, and I think that brings their concerts to the next level. Because yeah, that last one I saw was good, but it felt like it was missing something. So when it comes to Disturbed, I will I might see them again. I don't know. Like I said, I've seen them 3 times now, and I've kind of seen them play everything I want to. And with the cost of tickets going up every single day, it seems like, I don't know if I'll go again, but it was great seeing them. It was great seeing them play The Sickness from cover to cover, because there was definitely some songs in there that I've never heard live, and hearing them live was nice. When it comes to concerts, however, we have got a stacked year of concerts. I don't know about you guys. I'm from the Southern Ontario area, so if you're not from here, you don't understand. Every band is pretty much coming here this year, which scares the daylights out of me. So we've seen Ninja Sex Party. We've seen Disturbed. I have Metallica in 2 weeks. Then we also have tickets to see Baby Metal in August, I believe. Powerwolf and Dragon Force are coming here, which I'm a big fan of both of those, so I might end up going to that show. We have tickets to see Aqua in Toronto or in Hamilton. Weird Al's coming here. Around my birthday in May, Buckcherry and Steel Panther are coming to Hamilton. Like, honestly, I could go to 10 concerts this year. And that's insane, especially with, and then I'm not even a major fan of like the big acts. Like Gaga's coming, Oasis is coming. Like I don't know if like every band has been planning since the pandemic to like, we're all going to tour in 2025, but please stop coming because I'm running out of money. This is becoming a bit of expensive hobby to have, being a music fan. But yeah, it was really fun, and we're going to have a lot more concerts coming up we're going to have at least 3 more coming up in the next few months. So be prepared for that. Like I said, we got Baby Metal. I've got Metallica for episode 100. And then we've got Aqua, which I got laughed at for going to Aqua. And I'm like, hey folks, that is a banger album. And by the way, going back to Disturbed, if anybody ever gives you that question of what's an album that has hits throughout it, like cover to cover hits, The Sickness, Appetite for Destruction, and Aqua's Aquarium. Those are my 3 that I'm like, those 3 albums have nothing but bangers on it. And if you don't think Aqua Aquarium has all bangers on it, you did not grow up with Aqua. Because that album is hit after hit after hit. Crying Face, My Luck Ran Out with Taylor. Yeah, unfortunately, nobody seems like they got Gaga tickets. Even my wife was trying to get Gaga, and it just 3 shows and nobody can get tickets. Ticketmaster. Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing I want to tell you guys. So, as I said, during Metallica, there's the Friday, and I have a ticket to see the artist Squindo talk about his art gallery. So I was on Ticketmaster, like I used to do back in the day. I was on Ticketmaster at 10 o'clock in the morning when tickets went on sale. And they have a show. He has a show in Toronto. And then the next week or 2 weeks after that, Metallica's in the Pennsylvania area for those 2 shows. And when I went to look at the ticket, they had Metallica Toronto Takeover, Art of Squindo, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'm like, no, it's not. And it's the date too. Like the date's correct, but the address is wrong. And I'm like, do I buy these tickets? Like they're only $50, but like, is this going to get me in? So I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to spend the 50. So I spent the 50 and I called Ticketmaster. I'm like, hey, by the way, like your site's completely wrong. Like the date's right. The name of it's right, but you have it for Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, somewhere in Pennsylvania. It's in Toronto. And the girl's like, oh, okay, hang on, give me a second. Puts me on hold. Comes back. Oh, yeah, it's fine. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, oh, yeah, the QR code should work. And I'm like, okay. So I put it on my story and I tagged Squindo. And I'm like, hey, by the way, like, hopefully your fans can get in because I just bought my ticket and hopefully the date doesn't screw up the ticket. So we'll see. That might add to the story. But yeah, going Ninja Sex Party and Disturbed was a lot of fun. Lark Bark, you're late. You're late. I'm just getting ready to call it. Good afternoon. Just got off work and loving it. Now time to enjoy this stream. I'm getting ready to get off. It's 7:50. I can't keep you guys all night. I've got Rogue City to play and probably watch Daredevil at some point. JS is here. Hope everyone is having a good day. Everyone's jumping on. Do I have to change this to 8 o'clock? Like, it seems like 7's not the right time anymore. Jeez. All right, maybe in episode 100 we'll move it to 8 o'clock. Anyways, Ninja Sex Party was a lot of fun. Disturbed was a lot of fun. Metallica will be a lot of fun. We're just going to concerts all year. We've got 14 conventions this year. We've got 7-8 concerts. We have a stacked year of things to do. So you definitely want to hit subscribe and like and all those things because we have got a solid year ahead of us. And I'm trying to think. There's one other thing I want to talk about cons and cosplay. What was it? Oh, Fan Expo put out the fan panels. So if you guys are interested in going into Fan Expo and hosting a fan panel, you should sign up because there are usually some pretty good ones there, but I think you guys can do some better ones. And what is a fan panel? Basically, if you want to do this type of thing and sit in a room and talk about your favorite fandom, you should do it. I have some friends who did it 3 years ago, and they did a whole Lord of the Rings panel about why Lord of the Rings was such a good series and a whole bunch of other stuff. And they got a great turnout. So if you ever want to test what this is like, you should sign up for a fan panel because I think you guys would do a great job. Alex, can we give Alex a late happy birthday? It was his birthday yesterday, and he got to enjoy it by working. Which is not the way you should be spending your birthday. But happy birthday, sir. I hope you had a great day. Coming up, like I said, we've got next week is going to be the 10 things that you need to have to make a great cosplay room. They're going to talk about that. And then episode 100, I spent $5,000 on Metallica ticket, and we're going to talk about what it was like because Metallica will be in the Toronto area in a week. And then we're going to be getting ready for Comic-Con season. Like I said, we've got some cosplay stuff back there. We've got some cosplay stuff back there and a whole lot more. I think that's it, folks. I think it wasn't working, was on course. You said doing a course. I thought that was like work course. I didn't know that was not work course. Was on course. If you text someone doing a course, I took that as doing work course. Sorry. He was busy and should have been doing more fun stuff. You're also going Metallica. I know so many people that are going Metallica. I hope you have a blast too. I am going to be tired and deaf. Because I still can't believe I spent $5,000 on those tickets. I still can't believe it. It's insane to think about, but it's going to be a blast. Oh, for a volunteer position. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Metallica is going to be a blast. It always is. This will be my fifth time seeing them. I was talking to my wife last night. We've got a little box that a friend of mine made when we saw them last time, because last time when they were in Toronto, they were, why so much? Because I got the giant premium experience. So I am doing a Q&A with two members of the band. I am walking the stage, seeing all the production stuff. I get signed set lists for both nights. I get, yes, he does. A lot of people do. I get a signed set list. I get posters for each show. I get the audio recording for both shows. I am in the Snake Pit. I get first run access. I get a couple merch things and a whole lot more. Yeah, it is. Metallica is my band. That is my band. Last time they were in Toronto, which was 2016-17. I got floor tickets, and I used to be a member of their fan club when it was paid back in the day. I used to pay $50 a year, and they would send me a t-shirt and I get access to like their forum and stuff. It's now free, but if you're a legacy member and you used to pay for it, you get first crack at tickets. You also get first crack at contests. And last time they were here, I put my name in for a contest and I won Snake Pit passes, which was basically their stage was the stage, and then they had sort of like a C shape. I was in the middle, and I was literally against the barricade. And that was like I didn't think it would ever get better than that. That was a night that I will never, ever forget. And now I'm like, I'm going to do even better this time because this is going to be nuts. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And that I get to see the artist Squindo on the Friday and then do it again on Saturday with no repeats. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be so nuts. So anyways, yeah, downstairs, as I was saying before I changed subjects, I have a square that's about this big. It's a shadow box that has the tickets, has the guitar picks we caught, because my buddy came with me too. He got in, because I get 2 Snake Pit passes. He came too. So we got guitar picks, we got the tickets, we got the wristbands, and a couple photos. And I'm like, oh no, this concert, I'm getting 2 posters, signed set lists, ticket stub, laminate, all these things. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to get a giant shadow box of all these things, which is actually something I side note on the shadow box. The guitar picks we have, so that at the end of the show they throw out all the guitar picks. We didn't realize when we started catching them, they're not all Toronto, or they're not all that venue. They're other ones too, because we grabbed a couple, and I'm like, they're not Toronto. They were from like some other past dates. So funny, Crystal in chat was talking about the Taylor Swift show. We were kind of doing that. We were kind of doing like the friendship bracelet trading with other fans in the crowd. We're like, oh, I got a Delaware one. Do you want the Delaware? Okay, I'll take your New Hampshire one. Do you have a Texas one? I'll take a Texas one. So that was our version of that, was trading guitar picks. So we all had different ones. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm giddy. And actually, even the people at my work are like, Metallica weekend. I'm like, it's next weekend. They're like, oh, we're so excited for you. And I'm like, I'm so excited too. Yeah, it's going to be fun. But anyways, I've been keeping you guys all night. I'm going to let you guys get out of here. Thanks so much. If you guys can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all that. If you weren't here at the beginning, I do want to quickly say that with this show going forward and from the last few episodes, if you are interested in just wanting to see the main event and you want to tune in again, but you don't want to go through all the news and stuff, I'm going to start clipping the main event section and making it its own video on the channel so you guys can just look at it there, because there are some things that I understand people don't want to scroll through, even though I'm doing the time codes and all that. So we're going to cut that and drop it over there. So that's what we're going to be doing going forward. See, she brings everyone together. Yes, exactly. And actually, funny enough, I've got my own Swiftie bracelets that people have made for me. I've got a Myers one, and I've got a Frightmare one for when we did Frightmare in the Falls last year. All right. You have a Jason Newsted pick? Oh, jealous. I don't have a Jason. Actually, funny enough, I just put away, I have a book of guitar picks, and I don't have a Jason one. I have a Mustaine one. I have a BLS one. I have a couple of them. But anyways, side note. I'm going to let you guys get out of here. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me. And thank you for everybody on TikTok for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you guys will be back next week. Folks, I love you all. Have a great week. Have a relaxing week. And I will see you guys very soon. And by the way, enjoy your long weekend. We're going to be here on Monday talking about doing the cosplay room. We'll be here on Monday. So hopefully you guys tune in. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Hey, thanks for watching Monday Night Nerd. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the subscribe button, like this content, and follow on social media for even more nerdy fun. See you soon.